What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope y'all had a good start to the week so far. Today's devotion is going to be focused on Psalm 23. Now, for those of you who might be new to tuning into this, hearing what these are about, our podcast team at 3D Leadership Podcast for 2024 has the goal to do weekly devotionals. Everyone has a specific day, and all we're doing is trying to share what God's been teaching us in our personal walk, share that with you in hopes that it can help you on your journey. It can help grow you, can help give you new perspective, and just give you strength during some tougher seasons. So today's focus is going to be on Psalm 23 with the topic Victory in the Valley. Now I'm going to read the Psalm to you real quick, and then we're going to kind of talk on a few points and give you a couple of basic applications for the rest of the day, hopefully for the rest of the year. So Psalm 23 says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I will not be in need. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of his name. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Certainly goodness and faithfulness will follow me all the days of my life, and my dwelling will be in the house of the Lord forever." Now, how does this pertain to victory in the valley? Here's how. Let's break down what victory is. Victory is simply achieving. It's success, basically. It's us achieving something we want to achieve. Now, success, when people talk about what is success? Well, success is all about perspective, right? It's all about, was I able to achieve something I had sought out to achieve? Now, let's look at it from this perspective. I saw this the other day. Let's take the idea of a used and the idea of a not used air filter from your house, from your AC unit, right? We love the idea of a clean air filter. They look so pretty. They fit into the air filtration system so well. They look really nice. If you looked into a house that was 20, 25, 30 years old, that sucker would look gnarly. Like it would look nasty. Well, here's the perspective shift. Most of us look at that and say, that's disgusting. That couldn't have been like, that thing must have not been used for a while. Well, on the contrary, according to its job description, it being dusty means that it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, we look at those things as disgusting, but the air filtration system, would it have still been pretty clean? I would be very concerned because that means that it's picking up nothing in the air, and everything it's supposed to be picking up is now being stored by our lungs, and that would be terrible. Now, the reason I bring that example up is because many of us, on occasion, not all the time, but I know I'm guilty of this, is we have this idea of what success might look like, and then we have this imagination, this image of what we would think it's supposed to look like. But when something is successful and something does get accomplished, sometimes we are not happy with the result, even though the result was successful. With a filtration system, for example, it doesn't look pretty at all, doesn't whatsoever, but it was successful. And some things in our life, there's there's results, there's success we achieve, but it doesn't always look like what we were looking for. And oftentimes we're actually tricked by our own mentality on what we thought success was supposed to be. We oftentimes get upset by a result, even though it was the result of the actions we took. It wasn't the result we thought we would get, and therefore we're less content with it than we should be. And so it's all about perspective. It's all about how are we looking at something properly. Now let's talk about the valley concept, right? Well, what is a valley? Well, a valley is ultimately the lowest point between two mountains. That's the simplicity of a valley. Now, the question that we need to be asking ourselves is this. There's a couple perspectives to go actually. One is the perspective of is the valley that we're in, that we're saying we're just in a valley season, is that actually a valley, or is it a mountaintop that doesn't feel like the mountaintop we were expecting? Do we feel like we're in a valley? And are we communicating? We feel we're in a valley even though we're actually at a mountaintop? Goes back to accurate results. Do we have a proper depiction of what a result should be? Now, the other thing is this: the valley is simply the midpoint of two different hills, right? So let's take it from this way. When we say we have victory in the valley, let's say you're climbing a mountain and you climb your way down and you're in the valley. Well, the victory is the valley itself. Like, think about this. You first had to climb up the mountain, but you also had to climb down. Now, up is difficult, down can be easier. Up is the tough growing season, the growing pains. Down is it's the quicker, the easier. Life is going pretty good. There's still growth taking place, but we're getting some momentum. This is the blessing season, etc. But keep in mind that there's still plenty of people in life every single day that fall down mountains, that trip down mountains, that encounter obstacles that prevent them from making it down safely. Making it down a mountain requires just as much focus as going up the mountain. The victory itself is when we get to the bottom of the mountain, back to the valley. The victory is the valley itself because we were able to make it up the mountain and down the mountain. But here's the thing: the valley is also a place where we realize, okay, we finished one season. Now we're in the valley preparing for what's to come. The valley that you might be feeling right now is simply your interim between two seasons. It's your mountains are just different seasons of life. You have your growth peaks and you have your more fun, more easy fruits of the labor, right? There's the work to make the harvest happen, and there's the harvesting of the fruit of the vegetation. So the way up is the actual production of the produce. The way down is you reaping the harvest. But then there's always an end to reaping harvest. Now there's the valley. Well, great. I feel like I'm in a valley season again. I feel like life is just slowed down, like it's boring again. It's. I feel like I'm in a rut again. You're not in a rut. You're just in between. You're just in between two seasons. Now you can know, okay, that was one season. Now I can mentally prepare myself for a new way to grow, another area to grow in, and to begin climbing again. Because here's the thing: just like when you go to work out, and I use working out as an example a lot because it's just such a simple example. You cannot start by bench pressing 200 pounds randomly. I mean, some people can. In most cases, you can't max 500 pounds, something way out there. You have to work your way up. So, in many cases, our mountain seasons are preparing us for the next mountain. And the valley time we experience should not be us saying, gosh, I'm in a rut. It should be us saying, let's freaking go. I made it over another mountain. I made it down another mountain. I completed another season. I'm back and you have victory, excuse me, when you are in the valley. That is your moment of realizing I am victorious over this past season. I've grown, I've changed, I've progressed. Now it's time to prepare for the next one. So what's my message to you tonight? My message is simple. Victory in the valley is all about your perspective. Being on not I'm feeling low, but I am here because I overcame my last season. I wouldn't be here had I stopped in the middle of climbing that last mountain. Because keep in mind, when you're climbing the mountain, you're at the top, great. You still got to make it down. So the valley is our victory to remember that we made it up and over that last season, that last mountain. And the next valley will be the same reminder. We made it over that again. Now, for a Christian, for a believer, the coolest part is this: God's with you at all times. Victory is at all times, not just at the mountaintop, but even in the valley. Because even when we are in a tough season, when we are being stretched, when we do feel like we maybe hit rock bottom, God's still with us. He's still right there to guide us. He's still right there to show us the next path up the mountain. He's there to remind us of the last one that we came from. He's there with you at all times, and He is your guide to every single season, every single day, every single minute. So as you approach this week, as you approach this month, approach 2024, check your perspective on what's successful in your life right now, and where did you think you were in a rut, when you're actually experiencing the fruits of specific habits and activities that you just had a poor perspective on. Check yourself on the valley I'm in right now, passing one past season. I actually made it. I made it past that season. Let's count that a victory. You're victorious in the valley. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. I'll leave a I'll leave a comment below on a conference I'll be speaking at on Friday. If any of you want to be a part of that here in the Raleigh area, this message will also be shared in more detail at that conference. But have a great night, y'all, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. God bless.